Riding this wave of laughter and cheer. Beer Garden Mafia, we're all friends here. So come on down.
Okay, folks, welcome to the Beer Garden Mafia podcast. I'm Keith, your host. I'm here with Jen, the co-owner of the Beer Garden. And today we have a special guest for you, Miss Kayla Woods from Redneck Island fame. She's here. She's going to tell us all about herself. You're going to learn a lot about Kayla today. So, Kayla, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Keith. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be a part of this, Jen. It's going to be great.
Well, we're glad you're here. Most folks don't know the real Kayla. We do. I know sometimes you like to act a little crazy. That's a side that some people have seen. But we know that there's a real sweet, smart side to Kayla. And that's the side we want to show folks today.
Exactly. I think everybody kind of wants that. They want to just see me, you know?
Yeah, they want to see who you really are.
Okay.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Was you born and raised here in Marshall County?
Yes, I was born at Murray-Callaway County Hospital, and I grew up in Brewers, Kentucky, Marshall County, and my grandparents, they're from Graves. So, yes, I've been in Western Kentucky pretty much my whole life.
Your whole life?
Yep, graduated high school, Marshall County High School, and...
So you went to school here?
Yes.
Did you like school?
School was very hard for me. I struggled.
Was you a good student?
I had ADHD, so it was hard for me to sit still.
Well, you know...
I made average grades, but I always passed, you know. But I had to work hard at it, because it's hard for me to, you know, focus. I'm very hands-on.
A lot of people don't know this about you, but you're actually a very intelligent girl.
Oh, yes. Every doctor tells me I'm very smart.
Smart people have a problem with school sometimes because, well, like myself, I've got a real high IQ. I got so bored in school, I couldn't stand it.
Right.
Exactly. To me, it was the most boring thing in the world.
Right. I actually voted to, rid of the school system. I think it's bullshit, honestly.
Well,
because what are they really learning? You know, are they able to go and conquer life? You know, real life problems, taxes, write a check.
Exactly.
You know, anything that's real life. You know, are they going to be prepared for?
No, they're not.
A survival situation. You know, how to build make it work out there, and it's scary. You know, and if you do have a child, I think it's very important. You know, you teach them as much as you can so they can survive and thrive. You know, out there in this world, because it's hard. It's difficult.
Yes, it is. It's very difficult.
Very technical these days.
And school does not prepare kids for the real world. They get out there in the real world and they're like, oh my God, what do you mean I have to pay taxes? Well, that's part of life, you know.
Yeah, they hold them in school all day. Me, I would train them like an army.
Get out
on the farm, you know.
So I'm assuming you've never been to college then.
I went to a private beauty school in Murray. No, I didn't do the whole college.
What'd you go to beauty school for? Would you learn how to cut hair or do nails?
Yes, I wanted to be a hairdresser.
Yeah.
So I grew up working at a little restaurant in Aurora, Kentucky called Kaylee's Farmhouse Restaurant. So I started waiting tables before I was even legal, you know, before I was 16. And I waited tables all through high school, all through beauty school. And then, so I worked there for 6 years, and then I got a job. Well, first it was for Mike and Dana at Camelia's, and then I moved with Dana to a wild hair salon and worked there for almost 6 years here in Marshall County. And then, I tried out for Redneck Island. You know, it was a 3-month process. So, funny story. So, how I found out about Redneck Island, because, of course, no one had really heard of it. But my mom was living in Gulf Shores, and she was at a yard sale, and she met Jamie, this girl that had been on the 4th season, and they were looking for the 5th season people. And I just so happened to do a photo shoot for my 25th birthday with Gwen Moss, you know, our local celebrity photographer. She's been around taking my picture my entire life. Really cool. So I sent in a picture with my camo and my Smith & Wesson. I mean, they ate it up. I mean, it was hard, but I made it. It was a 3-month process. You know, first you start out, you answer about 16 pages of questions. First you send the one picture, and then it goes to the next level. And then eventually, you know, it got to where one of my clients, Wes, he runs the Marshall County Library. I needed a really good, you know, setup system, kind of like we have here, so I can block everything out and get a good view. And so he set it up, and I did my my live, you know, interview, fix your hair and your makeup, and they ate it up, you know. Well, eventually you go through the background check, and they pick the finalists. They fly you out to Atlanta, Georgia, lock you in a hotel room for 4 days. They give you $200 for room service. You don't leave the room. You wait for a phone call or knock on the door. And I mean, yeah, let me tell you, Hollywood.
4 days.
4 days, and you cannot leave that. You cannot leave that room. And I did get away with some different stuff because, like, I did order I ordered Domino's and got like a 2-liter and a pizza delivered. And technically, the Domino's guy isn't supposed to come all the way up to your room and all this. They just leave it at the front door. And the fact that all finalists had 2 $100 bills, the hotel didn't have change. No one had change for the $100 bills. But yeah, you could order whatever you want or pay. You know, if you wanted to order expensive alcohol, you pay for it yourself. But when you go on the show, you pack your bags. You know, you bring your cartons of cigarettes, whatever you're going to need. You know, they do stress tests on the treadmill. You know, short little lady in the middle of the night knocking on your door at 2 a.m. And I had this Victoria's Secret naughty nightgown. And she knocks on the door and she said, "I'm here to talk to you about STDs." And I'm like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Well, honey, this is not the 70s. Don't share your razor. Don't do this." And then, you know, by the 4th day, first of all, when they put you in the room and give you the $200 for room service, you do a 600-question bubble test, okay? And then that's going to be given to the psychiatrist in California. So you're going to have to pass, you know, you're going to have the right health insurance coverage. There's a lot to qualify to be a candidate, let me tell you. You know, it's not that easy. If you don't have the right coverage on one level, or you don't pass, you know, you're knocked out. Does that make sense? So, you know, you answer the questions.
Every level.
Right. And I can remember meeting with the psychiatrist and thinking, like, you know, whatever's traumatic in your life, like, you know, act like everything's gravy, baby. You know, like you ain't been through shit. You know, you can handle it. I also told him, like, I can swim and, like, do all these things.
Can you swim?
Well, I went to swimming lessons. I can doggy paddle. I'm more like on the water, not in the water. I tried to pretend like I could just take off and swim. But what happened is you go down that redneck slide, drop down in the water, and I started swimming while I inhaled some water in my mouth. And so you have jet ski guys on the sideline, right? And they're waiting in case you need to tap out or something goes wrong. Because you have the option to wear a life jacket or not. Okay, first of all, we know we got some big shit going on up here. We didn't want to add the life jacket. No one else wore it. But, you know, I get going, and I mean, I was side swim, back swim, doggy paddle, just try to keep your head above water, you know. But I made it to that damn paddleboard. And the only thing that saved me from not losing that very first challenge, because technically I would have came in last. Like Hunter, my partner, he kept waiting, thinking, where is she? Like, because he's not allowed to go down the slide till I get to the paddleboard.
Right.
He's got to wait on me to swim. But I mean, it was just like the slowest swim. But yeah, I made it. And then Deidre, she punctured her lungs, so it saved me. And see, it was a rookie versus veteran situation. So for the 5th season, they brought back 12 veterans. You know, because you know, the show had become more popular. They wanted to get more views, you know. Well, the good thing was the males that were veterans, they all had an alliance, okay? So this means, like, as long as me and Hunter didn't lose, we didn't have to go back to the house and worry about the squawking and, like, being in jeopardy, being thrown in the pit with the winning team. We just knew we were safe and we got to relax because of the male, you know, the alliance they had going on. So that was a good feeling too, you know. So we just, you know, kind of blend in, act cool, you know, try to go out there and not look like a, you know, we just want to survive the task, you know.
Right.
Like the 3rd episode, I get the commercial break, and it's the one that's on land, you know. But before that started, you know, Carlos, one of the producers, he sprayed my eyes with the sunscreen, okay, and had to almost get my eyes washed out. But let me tell you, it was my turn to go, and boy, they knew I was down to business. I mean, I was climbing that pole and getting the flags, and they were cheering me on, bragging. But the thing was, you know, me and Hunter, we both kind of lost our grip. But what got the commercial break, it was really cool because it just, like, let off a little slack. Well, we were able to catch ourselves and then finish climbing up. So, I mean, it was. And even my cheerleading coach, like I did Melissa's All-Stars growing up. You know, I was very involved on being on a cheerleading team. You know, but it felt good. Like, even Melissa was like, she was proud. Like, I kept going, you know, and it was not easy, man.
So it sounds like you had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of rules. Like, you can't wear sunglasses. You can't chew gum. There's one black phone on the wall. you pick that up for an emergency. You can't turn on and off the lights. There's no locks on any door, not even the bathroom. There's still cameras in every room. And then there's also going to be cameramen. You cannot talk to the cameramen. And like, see how we're mic'd here, Keith? So we're all mic'd with a microphone necklace. So from the time you get up, they mic you till you go to bed. Like, you unmic and they see me and Hunter like talking in the bunk bed, you're going to have to go back up and get remic'd. Because they're watching everything we're doing at all times. Does that make sense? But yeah, you can't talk to the cameraman. Like, I can remember being pissed and wanting to like...
So it's very structured.
Right. And I can remember, like, you can tell when I have an opinion or I want to say something, you know. And the cameraman, like, after an event, he would just kind of stand there in front of me. Because we had, like, a smoke pit where we all smoke our cigarettes. And I'm out there, and he would just kind of stand there. And I did. A lot of times I wanted to, like, really voice my opinion and, you know, let him know exactly what I thought, you know. But I'd just sit there and wait, you know, till they, you know, moved, you know. But you get very used to it. Like, as soon as we get on the pontoon boats, and it's a process. Like, so when they do lock us in the hotel room for 4 days, the very last day, you're going to have a green room, and it's going to be set up just like this. They're going to gut a hotel room. You're going to have your interviewer. They're going to ask questions. You're going to do your thing. And so, of course, when I go and do my interview, and they give you fireball shots, and I'm in my outfit, and I'm amped up, you know, of course, I'm like, woo, you know,
right.
And I'm talking over, and oh, this is so exciting, and, you know, they're asking me questions. Well, Carlos, like the guy that you meet at the very beginning, that's kind of a main to do with it, he comes running out of the room, and he's like, you got it, and I'm just like, oh, man, oh, boy. So then after they tell you got it, what they do is they come to your room. They'll take anything in your bag that has like a Nike logo or some brand or something you cannot have. So they're going to get rid of all that. Then you're going to pack your bags, and the very next day they put you on a big bus, right? And of course, I'm the last one on there. And I've got this little black outfit with my Louis Vuitton purse.
For you to show up.
Well, I had this cute little black outfit with my little Louis Vuitton, you know, and they put me on last. And Carlos, he says, when you get on the bus, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, okay? And I'm like, okay. So I get on there, and Lindsay, the other girl that she's like in charge, she looks at me and she's like, hi, I'm Lindsay, who are you? And I just look at her like this. And then I just look forward. You know, I don't even respond to her. I don't even say anything. I just, you know, because I am very good. That's one thing about me. I listen to instruction very well. Some people do not, you know. But, like, if somebody's like, you know, this is your job, you go and don't say anything, I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then when she asked me that, you know, and of course I'm girly. This is Redneck Island, you know. And, like, Kristen Tough Scott, she's behind me, you know. And they all start, like, burping, like, making these fart noises just to get a reaction out of me, you know, like I'm going to freak out, you know. And I'm just sitting there like, whatever, you know. But, I mean, it was wild. You know, we all had strong personalities. I don't know that we were all bipolar, but we're all from all over the country. It's the rookie versus veteran. And, I mean, you can't escape the drama, Keith. You're in a 2-story cabin that they rent out for the month.
Was it actually an island?
No, you're not even on an island. You're at the lake.
Okay.
And so all the challenges, so the pit challenge is always going to be set up in the same place, but you drive to everything. So when you load on the vans, it's girls in one van, guys in one van. That's the only time we listen to the radio. So we're excited. You hear any song on the radio, and you're into it. You don't care if it's Pink or, you know, what song it is. You know, you're all about it. You know. But there's lots of rules. Like when you're on ice, no talking. You know, when, like, you can't sing a song that's not your own into the microphone. You're going to get fined. You can't walk in a certain area, you know. And yeah, you're cut off from reality. Like, you're completely cut off. Like, you'll drive
so it's reality
somewhere to go to the
TV
pit
with
or
no reality.
You have to drive to all these challenge points, right? So, like the pond challenge where we're extended above the pond, that may be 30 minutes away. So everything's set up in a different area. But we're mainly all in that one house. But let me tell you, they rent this house out on the lake, and you got all these wild animals. Imagine, they have to duct tape every beer can in our fridge. But, like, the front yard, like, we had this whipped cream party for Nicole's birthday. Everybody jumps in the pool. They have to drain the whole pool. It's like a whipped cream. You know what I'm saying? Like, things get dirty. It's like a jungle out there, you know? So you have a pit crew that comes in and, like, you know, cleans up after us. They kind of go to Walmart, vote. Do y'all want ramen noodles, chicken, steak, whatever? We're just cooking our own meals and kind of doing our own
They didn't
thing.
even cater the meals.
No, they don't fix your meals. No, we fixed all our own food. Like Shabo, badass. My friend, he's from Henderson, Kentucky. Shabo, he was a rookie. We're still really good friends. You know, he'd get out there on the grill. He'd be grilling us up all these meals, you know. And some people would just eat what they would eat at home, you know. Like some of the girls, they'd just eat ramen noodles out of the pot or go fix, you know, we had frozen foods, fridge foods. But it was kind of like, no, you're on your own. Go fix your breakfast. You know, no, they're not fixing food for us. Absolutely not. You get laundry day once a week. You know, if it rains, all your clothes are fucking wet, you get over it. You know, there's circumstances into all of it. You know what I mean? And then there's situations with each room, for example. You know, like me and Hunter, we picked the bunk beds downstairs. So we had a small bathroom. The whole bathroom flooded. You couldn't use it. Other than to go put your little makeup on in the mirror, you know, we weren't showering or using that restroom. And then you got centipedes coming in through our fucking screen door. They had centipedes. You know, these, you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not, no, absolutely not. It's not the Beverly fucking Hills. You know, we're kind of cleaning up ourselves. And then, yes, you have an amount of people that come in and have to clean up, you know, after us. Because, I mean, we're wild.
Right.
You know, because you're partying, you're doing challenges. You know, there's a lot of work, but you're on 0 time schedule. You know, we would be up till 2 a.m. doing challenges, back up at 8. You don't have an itinerary or schedule. You never know what's going to happen, what's going to go on until you're told and you're doing it. You know, first challenge, we're out in the sun, 8 hours for everybody to get through it because they have to re-slope the slide and all this. And we stay all day out in that sun, go back to the house, eat us a little something, right? And then that very first night, we go straight to the pit challenge at 1 a.m., boy. You know, so you're filming, you're going to be doing your challenge day, pit day interview. Every episode is within 2 to 3 days. And now the longer you go on, the shorter amount of people, so the faster it goes. So they film the entire show within a month. You know?
So how long were you actually gone doing this?
I made it to the 4th episode. Very proud of myself. 4th episode, you know. So practically, you know, halfway. So I was very proud. And I was ready to go home. It was very much more mentally challenging than physically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So were the women, like, getting catty and whatnot?
As soon as I get there. Okay, so first of all, so at first, I'm just around the rookie girls, right? So the rookie girls, there's me, and then my bunkmate above me, Brittany. Okay, and then you have Connor. Which Connor, she's probably my best girlfriend of everybody from on it now. Like, she came and stayed with me in Gulf Shores. We're real close now. But, like, yes, especially these veteran girls, they already have their own veteran shit from the previous season.
Little cliques
that
going
they're out
already.
in the yard and arguing. And no, of course, none of them like me. Which, did I give a shit? No. But the unfortunate part was, because of everybody and the cattiness and the way it was going, I realized very quickly it was not the Kayla show. And so you will notice, like, I kind of just back off. You know what I mean? Like, I just... And yeah, I'm not drunk. I'm not getting involved in playing into all that shit, you know?
Right.
But trust me, when the show came out, with, like, CMT, they sent us all there to watch the first episode. And, I mean, I was eating that shit up. They've got us buying computers, and I'm like... Then I'm letting them voice and know exactly what I think about everything. And trust me, they all knew.
You went redneck
by
on them.
the end of it. Well, I kind of blew up. What happened was, so the third challenge, my bunkmate Brittany, because it was just me, Brittany, and Hunter in our room, you know. So Brittany was my closest friend there, I guess. Well, because of Cody, her partner that was a veteran, they were always in the pit challenge. You know what I mean? Because of the alliance. So, like, she was a badass. You know, she did a good job, but she had to go home. Well, what happened is, you know, you're out there till 1 or 2 a.m. First of all, I had been drinking, like, wine and beer at the same time. You know, maybe peeing off the side of the deck. I'm drunk at this point. Well, what they do is they drive you back to the house, and if it's Carlos and Jonathan driving, whatever, you have to sit there till they tell you on the radio that we can get out of the van, right? Because when you get out of the van, we always have to go back to this hole. You have this hole that we walk out of or back into the house, so it looks like everything's happening there.
Right.
So we all have to go from the van to the hole to walk back in from the event to get the they have to caption everything. So what we're doing is they're telling us we're going to have to wait 45 minutes for the cameramen to catch back up, and they're going to keep us locked in the vans. Well, my friend had just went home, and I mean, yeah, I'd been there a long time. I hadn't cried. I hadn't thrown a fit. I really hadn't said anything. Absolutely not. Well, until I did. And oh boy, did they see it. So what happened was, because yeah, a lot of the other girls were bitches, and I wasn't connecting with any of them, and I didn't want to be around them. You know what I mean? Like, all I had really at that point was my partner, Hunter. And so it's like, yeah, I didn't really want to, like, be around any of these people. It gets hard when your bunkmate goes home, and it's like, who are you going to talk to?
So, did you think a lot of these other girls were jealous of you?
I don't ever think it's people are jealous of me. I think people are
I'll
just...
tell you what, I've noticed with women...
bitchy, you know? Or
women
drama.
are, like, really bitchy towards other girls that they think are prettier than they are.
Well, I just think it's sad people waste their time or energy caring so much about... Because me, I don't give a shit. I'm not worried about, you know, what Jen's watching on TV later or what kind of shampoo she, you know.
Right.
I just don't care. You know, these things
But a lot
don't
of
matter
women do.
Right. That's why I'm only acquainted with the human race. Only acquainted. Like with the whole entire race. I mean, seriously, though, because I'm telling you, it's just drama. I mean, we can all agree on this. You know, keep your circle a little... I mean, I'm happy
do you think a lot of these other girls, you think they were doing a lot of this catty stuff just for attention? So they get more camera time, you think? Or
was
there any of that going on?
Most definitely. And yeah, it was very much like the veteran girls. Because the veterans also move into the house first. Like, we come off the pontoon boat into the house. They're already in the house, come out the doors. They've already picked their beds. They've already been through the experience. They already know what to expect. They're already, you know what I mean? So you're walking into, yes, this veteran situation where us rookies, we didn't really even know each other. And then, yeah, they're getting most of the screen time on that first episode because they want to show that. Because everybody's coming back to watch them again.
Right, and they know that acting up gets them attention, and so
right. And Stone Cold, he very much wanted, you know.
What was he like?
So Stone Cold Steve Austin, super super nice guy.
Did you go out with him?
No, we never partied with him at the house. We never like did an event out. It doesn't work like that, guys. So you have Stone Cold.
Right.
No, he never like hangs out for 30 minutes and we're drinking or having dinner.
So he just comes in to do his little film bit and then he's gone.
One thing about him, apparently he remembers everybody by their name that he meets. He's very, very nice guy. But you have to remember, he is not allowed to show favoritism towards anyone or do any of that. He, you know.
Right.
So he's very much just nice to
all.
He's not friend and hanging out with or talking.
He got to play by the rules too or he'll lose his job.
Right.
So.
Right. And then you had Melissa Rycroft. She was our assistant. You know, she had been maybe the Bachelor, I think Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Now, she should have been a little bit more confident, you know. She was okay, but, you know, they could have, she didn't do bad, you know. But our show, unfortunately, the 5th season, so there was a very popular show, one of my best friends, shout out Ryan Scott Richards. I'm going to come do the Tiki boat ride in Gulf Shore soon. So one of my best friends, he was on the Party Down South. So our TV show, Redneck Island, would come on CMT at like 8, and then Party Down South, which is a paid by the episode. These people are getting paid by their episode, kind of like a Jersey Shore, but it's more country, smaller than that. But, you know, they were a big deal. Well, what happened was they canceled both shows that year after we were done to make CMT more family friendly. You know, play Reba all day long with 50 commercials. I don't know, man. But, you know, they canceled both of our shows, you know.
Did you get paid to do the show?
So, yes, next week I'll bring my pay stub. So, listen to this. It is really your 15 minutes of fame, guys. So, what they're going to do, they're going to fly you out there, give you your room service, now all your food, and you don't have to have money for anything while you're there. You know what I mean? So, but no, I think I was there 11 or 12 days maybe total.
Right.
For my 4 episodes. And my check was $1,100 even. And here's the thing. By the time you get the check, guys. Okay, so went on the TV show, went home. You're very much on a lockdown. You're not allowed to discuss it. You can promote the Redneck Island show, but you can't say who won. You can't. There's all these rules. So you don't get your check until way after the show is completely aired. And then, yeah, it's like after all that, $1,100. I mean... That ain't shit,
so
man.
So they made you wait several months for $1,100.
Oh, hell yeah. But then the 2 winners, they split the 100,000, so it's 50 apiece, and then after taxes, you're around 33. But oh man, I mean, I shook his hand, when I lost that when I lost that pit challenge. I was like, and you can see me smile. I'm like, thank you, and I was glad to go home, man. I mean, that's not very much money at all. The mental stress of it.
Just not worth it.
No. I mean, I can remember my pit challenge, for example. We had this major rainstorm, right? So there's no electricity to the whole pit. It's raining outside. We're in these vans. There's no electricity to power anything. And you see this little amount of equipment. They really got to pump up a lot of lighting, a lot of equipment to get this pit going. So we wait hours in the van. And I can remember looking at Carlos. And also, Jonathan had poured vodka in a water bottle. And there's no drinking before you. And I can remember Carlos looking at me saying, nobody's drank before. And I'm like, no. But I can remember looking at him and I was like, I get what I want. Because I was very tired and I didn't want to do the challenge that day. Like, I was hoping the electricity never came back on. They couldn't get it rebooted. We wouldn't have to do it. So it's cold, y'all. And we had been standing out in the rain. I can remember we were standing in this one spot, and my whole body is just like shaking head to toe. Like, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit that I'm just freezing and cold. And you can tell when I get out there, I'm like mad, but it's raining. Yeah, we're doing that pit in the fucking rain. And, so my challenge, and I kept telling them, they always hear it on the mic, I'm like, I do not want a puzzle challenge, I really wanted to, I've never been in a girl fight. I really wanted that, physical fight with a girl. I wanted to show my strength out there. I wanted something real physical. But, I get the stump puzzles. So, when he says go, you're going to be carrying your different size logs, and you're going to carry them across in the mud, and then you're going to have to line them all up on the poles, correctly. First one done, whatever. And I tell you what, I had my logs over there a lot quicker, but I was right by the peanut gallery. And it's like, yeah, they're all, everybody that is not in the challenge, they're all up here drinking, observing, they get to watch the show, man. They're live, they're front seat, But they're all saying shit, and I'm right there, and it's like, I'm just like, when it comes to the puzzle, because they're all different sizes,
Right. And
I carried my logs way quicker than Nicole. I mean, blew it out the water, man. I mean, even my partner's like, she palmed it, And I mean, I had the logs, no problem. But then when you get to the puzzle, and yeah, they're all talking in your ear, and it's just kind of like, I was ready to
So they're trying to throw you off, you think, or?
What, by giving me the puzzle?
Well,
or just
I'm talking about the peanut gallery. Are they?
Yes, it was very distracting.
So they were trying to distract you intentionally, you think?
Right, and I was totally just, after I'd carried my logs, it's kind of like I did that really impressively, badass, but then when they're talking, and you're seeing her on the sideline putting her logs on her poles, and then I'm trying to figure out, and it's so, like, you know what I mean, it just gets very, like, you're just kind of like,
Yeah. So it sounds like
I'm not good at puzzles, Keith. Okay, I don't do puzzles. Puzzles are not for me. The word search. I have some amazing talent. The puzzle not for me.
No,
not
like
so
puzzles
much
at all.
No, I need to be more like strength and quick with exactly what I got to do, not putting a puzzle together. Get from point A to point B, whatever it is. But yeah, I was proud of myself. It was very much a growing experience. I feel like when you live with those people, you're very much connected to them. Like, they're like your family. Even if you go a long time without seeing them, you had that experience together. And it was such a major, really, it's a major experience. And major things happen,
right.
Like Connor and Cowboy, they're just, fooling around in the yard. He ends up breaking her ankle. And Riley's carrying her up the stairs. She had to have major ankle surgery. And she had to get sent home. Because that's why you have to have good insurance, Keith, because they got to make sure you're out here horse playing in the yard and you break your leg, that your insurance is going to cover it.
What I mean? They don't have insurance for these people?
They don't provide people insurance to come on the show. Like, I had really
so
good
insurance. So if you get hurt on the show,
it's
on you then.
So I was 25. My dad worked at the plants in Calvert. So I was covered on his insurance, so I was 26. So I had very good insurance, guys. Like, I don't even know if you had Medicaid, if that would work like a private. I'm not sure at that time. But I will say, Man, it really affected people when their kids lost their health insurance at 26, if you want to change the subject.
Right.
And you don't really think about it. Because if you're self-employed or whatever it is, most jobs you're going to have to pay to have something to have your insurance.
Right.
So, I was very lucky. I'd pay my $30 copay to go to the doctor. It would cover a majority of my prescriptions. I was a hairdresser, so I could afford all that. You know what I mean? But then when I lost that health insurance at 26, it did play a role, like as far as going to the doctor or maybe some of my health stuff, But the fact is, when you don't work, they cover your insurance. And then you have all these people out here working, covering their own insurance. Really everything is real ass backwards, in my opinion.
It really is.
And, the fact that anyone can procreate and then, the government is somehow going to give you money for your children. Insanity, man.
I
It's
agree.
insane.
I agree.
But,
let's be honest. The government, I think they like to make people dependent on government, because if you are dependent on them, you will vote for them.
Right.
So if they can make you dependent, they got your vote.
I would like a commune.
I think that's
or
a lot
cult,
of it.
On my farm. Oh, I'd be a good one.
Be a good cult leader?
Make it real, hang on, let me think of the word, because I know we're live. Let me think of the word. Conspiracy. Very conspiracy. Oh, yeah, I could. The human race, really not that smart. Brain, the fact people, like, for example, you're from this small town, and you just, whatever your family did, you're going to do that. Or, me, I'm a very skeptical child from get-go. So, if you're trying to tell me something, I'm not going to just be, like, falling right into it. Where most of the human race, very easy to manipulate, don't even think about it. They're on their little government. They don't even know what's going on. And they keep you so distracted.
They don't realize
now.
they get trapped.
They keep you so distracted. It really is kind of sad,
Yeah, it really is.
That's why I'm very indifferent from other people,
And to be honest, most people are just average at best. And, I actually Googled one time what the average IQ of Americans is. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's
79?
between 90 and 110.
Oh.
You know what the IQ of a highly functioning retard is?
What?
87. So half this country is closer to being a highly functioning retard than they are towards intelligence. So, that does explain a lot.
If I decided to procreate, if I had a child, they're going to be trained before they leave the house to act a certain, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My children will be trained, and yes, I would set my child up, their life, so they can succeed and be as smart as possible.
Yeah, a lot of people
everything into the child.
A lot of people want to leave their children money, but what you're better off leaving them is knowledge.
Oh, exactly.
If you can teach them how to generate their own money, you teach them how to invest money, you teach them how to function in society, they'll be far better off than if you leave them a pile of money.
Exactly.
Because
my mom made me go to work, pay for my insurance, my gas, all this as a young child. But, man, I'm glad she did,
Yeah.
And I paid for my name brand clothes, that's the way it was. But it was good for me, to go to work.
Yeah.
And I'd ride
My
my
dad threw
four-wheeler
me
on
out of
the
the
back
house when
roads.
I was 17 years old and told me, get the hell out, don't ever come back. And I understand why. I was a little punk at that time of my life, and he did the right
I got kicked
thing.
out on my 21st birthday. Tommy caught me and my boyfriend in the hot tub, kicked me out. And my sister, she was 16, refused to live there without me in the home. So Tommy and my mom, they moved to Gulf Shores, moved to the beach, left my sister with my grandparents. Whole new life.
Wow.
But I don't have a relationship with them. We're better off this way. Sometimes it's better to just keep the distance with your family if it's more hurt than help.
Sometimes it is. I agree with that.
That's why you find,
Sometimes you have a better
Beer Garden
relationship.
Mafia. Like Jen, when I'm breaking down, hugging me and taking me out there. Like, that's kind of what the Beer Garden's about. Are you sitting beside me while I'm crying, breaking down? Like, you're seeing, like, the realness of a person, like, going through, like, life, and it's hard.
Right.
And, like, that's what it's about. It's about helping other people, and, yeah, be there when you can.
Well, that's what the Beer Garden really is about. I mean, we're like a big family.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people here that care about each other. And I think that's what makes us different than any other bar.
Exactly. Because
Other bars, people go to other bars, they just go there to drink, and, A lot of people go to cause problems. We don't allow people to cause problems
And we
here.
don't even have it here.
We're more like a family.
Yeah, and it's
And,
great.
And we really saw it during the tornado.
Yes.
Right.
People came together like you've never seen.
Right.
You
and
know,
that's what you
our
wanna
house was
do.
wiped out during that tornado in December 10th, 2021 it was. And all the phone lines were down, so you couldn't call anybody to help you.
Right.
But we had, you know, you wouldn't believe how many people that come into the beer garden just showed up at our house to help. They'd heard that our house got hit.
Sure.
And people just started showing up, and
Isn't that great?
you know, they were like, "What can we do to help you? You know, just
amazing.
tell us what to do. We'll do anything you need."
and that's what
and it
people
was
need.
awesome.
That's
We
exactly
saw-
what people need.
We saw the best of people during
I
that
have to take the
tornado,
goggles off. Oh my gosh! my
and we
left
saw the worst of
leg's
people,
numb.
though. So yeah, it was an awesome time, but a really hard time. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, anything like that, a fire or losing your home when you're not ready to.
I think a fire would be worse than a tornado.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because see, the
losing
tornado,
everything.
it damaged most of our stuff, and what little was left, the looters were trying to steal it, so we had to, you know, fight with looters.
And insurance,
But,
you know, all that
a fire-
comes into effect.
See, a fire is even worse because your stuff that doesn't burn up in the fire department
Soot.
destroys it with
Soot.
water.
Soot.
Well, they come in, they spray, you know, to stop the fire,
Right.
and they destroy anything that does. The fire doesn't destroy, the water does. And you know how it is here in Kentucky. Stuff gets wet, it molds really
Oh
fast.
yeah, I worked for Premier Water and Fire Restoration for my ex, Stephen Alexander. So I would do after a fire, you'd have to go down, and there's soot on everything. You got to
Oh,
go
yeah.
everything, get the soot off
It
every
destroys
single
everything.
thing. I mean, yeah, it's a major ordeal.
Yeah.
Like even if your house doesn't burn down, there's a lot of damage. Whether
yeah.
you think just from like this and the mold and milk. Yes, it
Yeah.
all comes very much into effect, and it's all a
it
lot
might
of
be
money,
worse
money,
than a
money.
tornado. A fire may be worse than a tornado. I'm not sure. I wouldn't wish either one on anybody,
No.
you know. But a fire may be even worse than a tornado. I don't know.
And we're at a time. I mean, look at the weather, y'all. I mean, you know, look how cold it was in May. You know, it's like, and that's another hard thing I feel for everyone, especially as a business owner. Like y'all own a business, so you're affected by weather constantly. And I think that's been one of the harder things to adjust to, like, and feel normal when you're like going to bed and waking up and is the weather is constantly like
Yeah.
low. Like, you know, we can go from real cold in the morning to, you know, we need our tank top off in the sun, you know, by the afternoon. And it makes it hard to go to work.
And then
or
it's
prepare
snowing again by sundown. It's snowing. So yeah.
And weather affects people's homes, their vehicle, their whole function of life.
Yes, it does.
And we can't control any of that. If it rains 20 million days in a row, or, you know, we get an ice, we cannot control this.
No.
Nope.
So we'll have a whole episode about the weather when we can really get into the weather and controlling the weather.
I got a feeling we're going to have a lot of episodes about a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, so what's our plan, Keith? Like, I feel like the Beer Garden Mafia, like, our whole goal is to just, you know, we want to have a good time. We want people to watch our podcast, but we want to discuss, like, real life things and, like, try to just, we want to get other
introduce
people
them to real
involved.
people like yourself, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of really interesting people that come into the beer garden, and we want to introduce a lot of them to the world, you know, and just show people all the different personalities that come in here. I mean, we've got a lot of really great people that come in here.
Like Jen,
We really
the first
do.
time I had this nude, my favorite outfit. It's a full nude butterfly bodysuit. I think I had the pasties on and the little nude thong, you know. But here I come. Okay, so I don't go to the beer garden often, right? Okay, and here's Jen, the owner, you know. And yeah, most people at the beer garden are wearing jeans and a t-shirt. This is the reality, okay? You look around, and I'm in this, you know, and I had the hair, and I'm all foo-fooed up, and you know, I'm prancing around the pool, and I don't know what it was, but Jen, and we end up, you know, this little thing, you know, we didn't really know each other. But yeah, it's like, look now. It's kind of like, yeah. And I do. I wear the outfits. I like to ag stuff on, but a lot of times, like, it's not that it's on purpose or I don't want people to see the real me. It's just, sometimes it's easier to just give it to, you know, like, but I don't want to be like that, and I do want
Actually,
people to
You
see.
said, ooh, do I need to wear anything specific? And I'm like, yeah, clothes.
Yes, and I did. I decided to go with the really cute naughty, and I have a
You know,
really bougie.
I remember that
robe.
day.
You
Jen,
were here too?
yes, I was.
yeah.
I remember she comes up to the door.
Jen
and it was
chewed
funny.
your ass up
at
one
the door,
side
and
and down
then
the
this
other.
is what I did. I look at her and I go, "Ma'am, are you slurring your words?" And then, I don't know, she said something else. And then, next thing I know, there's 20 people out in the parking lot. And, you know, my caller's like, let her go. And I'm just like, I'm not coming back to the beer garden. And then what, maybe a year later, I decided to come back. And now me and Jen are like, we're practically going to the pool together, you know, laying out.
Well, that's typical Jen. Jen will jump dead in your ass if she sees you doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. Which
but
everybody
she's
needs.
so kind-hearted that she loves everybody. She really does.
Yeah.
And she truly cares about everybody. And I think that's a lot
important.
of what makes the beer garden special, too, is that
Definitely,
people see that, you know. They see that.
See the real,
Yeah, Jen really cares. I mean, we don't, if somebody's had too much to drink, we don't let them drive out of here. We're not ever going to let somebody get hurt. I've driven people home. She's driven people home. We'll find them a ride, but you're not going to drive.
Exactly.
And we try to take care of people, you know. I mean, we do care about people that come in here, and
I feel
that's
like,
kind of what the beer garden's about.
Motorcycle guy. You know, we have these different events and these different things going on.
Oh.
But I feel like we don't have any drama here. You know, everybody pretty much clicks and gets along.
No.
We don't have bad people come in.
The other night there was a whole big group of bikers.
Right.
Or motorcycle
So I feel like, we're blessed. We're not having like situations in the bar, you know?
And a whole big group of golfers.
Oh, that
And
was
they were
amazing. So
big
maybe
buddies.
I guess they've come back for years and years
Oh,
because
yeah.
listen, these 9 guys, they're all, you know, about my age from out of town, and they go sit down to order, and you know, I'm talking to them, and Jen's like, yeah, I know these guys, like, because there had been an event, the previous year. But I mean, every person that came from a different state, they all came back to the beer garden. They all knew what the beer garden was, and everybody was having a good time.
Yes.
So it's like y'all are very much providing entertainment for that whole golf event. You know, because they were all coming here the multiple nights in a row. And I'll have to tell you, I have text messages from the one Johnny FBI. He texts me and he says, he said, listen, after you left, it did quieten down a lot. And I think the owner and the bartender were mad or something. He said, you really brought the entertainment. And I was like, thanks, you know? But it was funny. Because I feel like we had a lot going, you know? I mean, it was very much popping in here. People were ordering food.
I've noticed when you do come in, I mean, you are a very high-energy person. No doubt about that. Very high-energy person. But I've also noticed that you have a tendency to pull that out in other people. So when you do come in, people do get excited, and they're
I like to talk to people.
happy and having fun, and you know, they're just real high energy.
I like to make people laugh, you know, like whatever.
It's real high energy.
You have to be able to vibe with people, you know, like realize this group of people's into this, you know, and try to, you want to relate to people, and you want people having a good time. I mean, we have different events, karaoke, you know, but you got to make your own fun. So we had a magazine event, remember, here that day. We had a big magazine event, first of all.
Right.
And then I find out we've got the hogs coming, and we got all these people coming. So then you got the golfers, and I mean, it becomes a real big to-do, you know. But I was working the whole thing. I was ready to be on the next front cover of the magazine. I was trying to get sponsors to sponsor me to model, you know. And we were having a good time, right?
Yeah, it was a great
and
time.
then, Jen, she keeps me in line. She'll be like, Kayla.
She tries.
And she's like, Kayla, now don't go tell everybody the shirts are 30. They're actually, you know, we need to give them the right information. So, yes, everybody, we have, well, the shirts are 30. I maybe got it backwards. But we have
It's okay.
some really good gear.
And by the way, folks, if you
Good
want to
gear.
help support the Beer Garden Mafia podcast, you can go to our website where we do have shirts, hats, koozies.
And we're going to be
we'll
bringing
have
the
other
bomber
items.
jacket coming soon, okay? We're going to have a nice little black slick bomber jacket, fanny pack, and visor. You know, we'll have to really work into that. But
Okay,
the bomber
we'll have
jacket,
to work on those things.
the
but-
bomber jacket's going to be the next.
But anyway, folks,
big
if you
thing.
do want to help support us, that's how you do it. Just go to beergardenmafia.com and go to our merch page and get you some gear.
Or just
We'd
make a
love it.
donation. Come in and check the building out. Jen's going to give a tour
Well,
so everybody can see.
Hey, we're open 6 days a week, so if folks want to come in and hang out and have a good time with us, we encourage that.
Okay, one more question, Keith. So
Yes.
we have this very nice building in the back where we do the cornhole. Is that actually where you can book an event? Can you
Yeah.
book that? So, yes.
We've had weddings in there.
Yes, here at the Beer Garden, we have a lot of space and a really nice, event center here. So, book a party, right? I mean, we can do what all can we host there?
Oh, we can host.
Sky's the limit.
We've had weddings, we've had class reunions, we've had birthday parties.
Receptions.
Wedding receptions.
Right. So the beer garden has a lot to offer.
we've
We have the
done
bar, the outside area.
Celebrations of life for people that have passed. I mean, we try to help people any way we can here.
Right.
So
we've got a big building, is what I'm saying. Like
Yes,
we have
we
a
do.
nice outside area where we can open the doors that joins into our big bar, and then yes, we have a nice event center.
yeah,
So
and we got a lot of games up there. You know, they can play pinball, and we've got a shooting safari game, and a golf game, and so thank y'all for joining us, and we'll be back
comments.
with another episode of Beer Garden Mafia podcast. We hope y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for joining us.
Riding this wave of laughter and cheer. Beer Garden Mafia, we're all friends here. So come on down, raise your voice with me. Whether you're from the city or the fields of green, we're just a bunch of rednecks doing our thing in this beer garden life that makes our hearts sing.